Hello and welcome to another English lesson. A synopsis or a broad outline of the novel or book The Swiss Family Robinson. The Swiss Family Robinson is a well-known adventure novel that people of many countries have enjoyed for more than 200 years. It has also been made into graphic novels and films. An adventure is an exciting or unusual experience which is put into this book, and people for more than 200 years have enjoyed this book. It has also been made into graphic novels, that is novels with pictures in it, and films. The novel, written by the Swiss clergyman Johann David Wyss, is not just an adventure. It aims at teaching young people values, and values like self-reliance, determination, love for your family, cooperation, and prudent use of resources. So, the Swiss clergyman, he was a priest or a religious leader from Switzerland, Johann David Wyss. Okay, so he wrote this book not only for fun and adventure. He aimed at teaching young people especially values like relying on oneself, determination to do something, always have love for your family, cooperate with your family members, and the most important, prudent use of resources. That is very careful use of whatever you have. The story also has good relevant lessons in good husbandry, that is good farming practices, natural science which deal with physics, chemistry, biology, geology and mathematics. So some elements of the novel do stretch reality to a certain extent, but we must consider that it is a work of fiction and not a fact file. So some parts of this story do stretch reality. It's too difficult for us to believe. It stretches our imagination. But we must consider that this is a work of fiction, something imaginative and creative. It's not something that has happened in real life. Okay? Fiction as opposed to a fact file. A fact file is one where you will get all facts, detailed facts about anything. So this is not a fact file. It is a work of fiction, imaginary. And now we are going to do the synopsis or the outline of the basic story. William, Elizabeth and their children had been traveling in a ship when the ship was caught in a storm. The other passengers evacuated or left without them. William and his family, including the young children Fritz, Ernest, Jack and Franz, were left to survive alone. There was no one there. Everyone left to safeguard themselves. They evacuated the ship, and William with his wife and his children were left there to survive alone. They weathered the great storm waiting in the ship's hold. The ship survived the night and the family found themselves within sight of a tropical desert island. The next morning, they decided to go to the island they could see beyond the reef. William and his wife Elizabeth, their 4 children Fritz, Ernest, Jack and Franz were in a storm. All the other passengers, they took the small little boats and they evacuated or they left the ship because they were frightened for their lives. Now, this family weathered or got through the storm safely by waiting in the ship's hold. A hold in a ship is a place where they put all the luggage and the cargo, the food stuff and other things. Now the ship survived the night. The ship was still afloat and the family suddenly found themselves that they could see a tropical desert island. A tropical desert is a place which is very dry and hot, and an island is land surrounded on all sides by water. So the next morning they decided to go to that island because they couldn't stay on the ship. The ship is going to sink at any time, and they could see that island beyond the high stone kind of reefs which were there, they could see that island. With much effort, they constructed a vessel out of tubs. After they filled the tubs with food and ammunition and all other articles of value they could safely carry, they rowed towards the island. So they took a lot of effort. They tried a lot and they constructed or made this vessel. A vessel here means a kind of a boat. It doesn't mean a vessel in which you cook your food. This is a vessel meaning boat. They made it out of wooden tubs, and in those tubs they filled food and ammunition. Ammunition meaning bullets, guns, gunpowder, etc. and all other valuable articles they could carry, and using those wooden oars they rowed towards the island that they could see from the ship, the sinking ship. Two dogs from the ship, namely Turk and Juno, swam beside them. The ship's cargo of livestock, guns, powder, carpentry tools, books, a disassembled pinnace and provisions had also survived. So if you look at the word there, livestock. Livestock is made up of two separate words, live having a different meaning, stock having a different meaning. But when you bring them together as a compound word, it means farm animals. Okay, and so there was a lot of cargo on the ship, the things that are carried on the ship. Yeah, they were cattle, farm animals, guns, carpentry tools, small boats, and other provisions. Over the next few days, William the father attached the floatable old kegs to one another and built a bow that curved around them. The family had landed successfully on the island. Now, the picture shows you wooden kegs, they float. So he put them all together and made a bow like a boundary all around them. And this family now they landed successfully on that piece of land surrounded by water. They set up a tent and softened the floor with armloads of grass they had cut and spread to serve as their beds. So they put up a tent, they made the tent there, and then on the floor of the tent they spread grass like this. Armloads of grass means a lot, as much as they could hold, and put it down on the floor of the tent so that they could have a soft bed to sleep. Okay, here we have another compound word, whereas arm means the part of your hand and load meaning many, but arm loads means here as much as you can carry in your arms. They came to a grove of trees. One tree grew what looked like gourds on its trunk. See, these are gourds. Yeah, different types like pumpkins, melons, etc. So they came to this grove or group of trees and they looked up and seen so many gourds growing on that tree. Okay. The father told Fritz, his son, the gourds would make excellent bowls and spoons, and they cut them into various utensils. So see how resourceful they are. They are making use of all the resources they are. They don't have any utensils or vessels. So they took out these gourds, they scraped them nicely, dried them and made them into bowls and spoons. After some days, Elizabeth informed William that she wanted the family to move to a safer place. Their current camp was not only exposed but also very dry and hot. If they built a house up in one of the large trees, they would be safe from jackals. Now, jackals are these ferocious, dangerous animals. So Elizabeth, the mother, she told the father William that we need to move to a safer place because this tent is not safe for us. It is exposed to jackals and other animals, but here it is also very dry and hot. So we should build a house in one of the large trees. She described a perfect tree for the project, one whose trunk was nearly 40 feet in diameter. The branches were very long and extended straight out from the trunk, making them perfect platforms for a structure. So exactly some tree like this she described, the trunk, very broad trunk, nearly 40 feet in diameter, where the branches were long and they came straight out of the trunk. So they could, the house could stay in between and be safe on those branches, making the branches would be a platform on which the house could be there. Later, when determining the height of the lowest branches, the father taught the boys geometry and how to use triangles to measure big objects. So here, one more value, one more life lesson. The father is teaching them how to use geometry and build the house according to measurements. Some questions from your text. In what way is a work of fiction different from a fact file? A work of fiction, not real, is based on imagination, whereas a fact file is based on something real, reality. This story, the Swiss Family Robinson, stretches reality to a certain extent, hence it is a work of fiction. How did the family reach the tropical island? After the family was shipwrecked, they made a vessel out of tubs. They filled those tubs with food, ammunition and other articles, and they rowed towards the island. Why did the mother want to shift the family to a tree house? The mother wanted to shift her family to a safer place. She felt that the current house or the camp or the tent exposed them to danger, and it was also very hot. And she felt that a tree house would keep them safe from jackals. Continuing with the story, he measured a defined distance from the trunk. Then he calculated angles using several measured rods, determining that the lowest branch was 30 feet off the ground. So now he is teaching the children geometry. First he showed them how to measure with triangles. Now he calculates some angles he measured some rods, the father. He measured those rods. Okay. And with those rods, maybe 1 foot rods, he determined that the lowest branch of that tree was 30 feet off the ground. So no animal would be able to reach 30 feet off the ground. They would be very safe in their tree house. The men knotted the rope at certain intervals and attached pieces of bamboo in each knot. Thus, they created their ladder. So now, how to reach on top there? They made nice knots. No, not knotted, but knotted. N-O-T-T. The K is silent. So they made a ladder. Okay. Father returned to the beach and collected driftwood, thinking it would be perfect to build a sledge on runners rather than on wheels. Later, they used it to transport materials. So now, drift plus wood. Drift means to just wood pieces going on the water, and wood is something separate. Now, driftwood together, pieces of wood floating in water. And the father wanted to build a sledge, a vehicle used for carrying loads. So they put all the driftwood together. They made a sledge with runners underneath, flat pieces of wood, so that it could nicely slide on the ground. Because if they had wheels, it would get stuck there were no roads on that island. Okay. Next day, only the father and Fritz traveled to the woods, exploring and finding such exotic plants as one with waxy fruit from which candles could be made. Fritz discovered a tree exuding rubbery sap from which his father claimed they could make boots. So they went exploring the island and they were searching for, exotic plants. That means plants coming from outside India. Okay. For us, exotic plants will be plants coming from outside India. But for them, something that was not on the island would be exotic. And they found one like a waxy kind of a fruit, and they realized that they could make candles from that. Fritz discovered a tree exuding. Exuding means giving out some rubbery kind of liquid like this sap. And the father told Fritz, okay, we need to collect this because I can make boots out of these. Meanwhile, Elizabeth announced that the garden she had been tending was producing healthy plants. Corn, melons, pumpkins and cucumbers were already growing. So Elizabeth was tending or looking after a garden, and she had so many different kind of fruits already a few fruits and vegetables already growing in her garden. Thinking ahead of the next winter, father decided to create a place safe from the elements, a strong storage spot to protect themselves and their belongings. Fritz came up with the idea of a cave. Not finding one, they thought of carving out their own cave in the rock abutting their camping site. So they started thinking of the next winter. Now it's hot. We can live in a tree house, but when on a tropical island, it becomes very cold in winter. It's very hot in summer and very cold in winter. So the father decided now we have to think ahead. Okay. And he decided to create a place which was safe from elements of the weather, that is snow, cold, etc., as well as have a strong storage spot to protect themselves and to protect their belongings. Whatever they had, they could store it there. Now Fritz said, why don't we live in a cave? So they went looking. A cave is a hollow in a stone, but they didn't find a ready-made cave. So what they did was they thought, okay, let us make our own cave in a rock, abutting or having a common boundary with their camping site. On the smooth face of the rock, father marked the dimensions for an opening, and they picked away at the hard surfaces with their axes, chisels, hammers and shovels. Okay. So the father seen the smooth face of the rock where it was nice and smooth. He marked the measurements of length, height, depth, whatever he wanted for that opening or the door of the cave. Then all of them started hitting those, once he measured, they started hitting the stone with their axes, chisels, hammers and started shoveling away all those pieces of stone which were there. Okay. It was very hard work. Over the next several days, the family cut windows in the rocks to allow for cross currents of air and for sunlight to enter the cave. When they had finished, they had 4 rooms complete with a fireplace. They now had a new winter home. So this is their third home. See how resourceful they are. They make their own house in a cave by using axes, chisels, hammers. Okay. Then first they made the door. Then they cut windows to allow for cross currents. Cross currents meaning 2 words. Cross is one word, current is one word. But when we put them together, they mean currents of air moving across one another. And also we have 2 more compound words here, sunlight, fireplace. Okay. And this is the picture here of a fireplace. It is a fire in a home for giving warmth. Okay. Now, because of the low light, dim light, the cave house they had built felt oppressive. To remedy this, father and Jack rigged up a new light. So the cave didn't have a lot of light. So it was not feeling, they were feeling very uncomfortable and harsh in that house because there's no light, dull, dim, not very happy house. Now, to change this or to make it better, father and Jack, they made up or they rigged up a new light. They found a bamboo pole that would reach from the floor to the ceiling. Then after securing it nicely there, putting it safely, Jack climbed to the top of the pole and hung a large oil lamp they had rescued from the ship. So now they, changed the dull ambience of the house and they had enough light also in their cave. One day they found that one of the family's huts had been completely destroyed and the cultivated fields around it had been trampled and ruined. There were huge footmarks everywhere. Father saw massive damage to trees as well as many huge footprints which he identified as belonging to an elephant herd. So one day a herd of elephants came and destroyed one of their huts and all the fields in which they had cultivated their food crops. Okay, they had been trampled upon, and ruined completely. There were huge footmarks as you can see in this picture. And father, he saw big damage to trees and huge footprints, and he said these are elephants. Okay, so trampled meaning crushed, stepped upon, massive meaning huge or lots of. The next morning, the family began to design a new defense to discourage all wild animals from entering their cultivated lands. They also finalized their ideas about the new residence. Okay, so the next morning, their house has been trampled, the herd of elephants has crushed everything. So they began to design a new house, okay, a house that will discourage all wild animals. How are we going to live without wild animals coming and attacking us or attacking our fields? Okay, they finalized ideas also about a new residence, a new home. They wanted to go into their fourth home now because the first one had been destroyed by the elephants. Rather than building a house on stilts which the elephants could knock down easily, they would use 4 strong trees growing in a square near one another as the foundation. The trees were of equal size, approximately 12 feet apart. Thus, they built another safe home. So they didn't want to build something like this on stilts, because if the elephant comes, the elephant will very easily knock down these bamboos over here and the whole house will come down. So they decided to have 4 trees, see, 1, 2, 3, 4 trees, and on those 4 trees they would have their home there. So even if the elephants come, they cannot knock down these huge trees. And thus this family built their fourth safe home. Now, some more textual questions. How did the mother occupy herself when the tree house was being built? When the tree house was being built, the mother kept herself occupied with looking after the garden, which was now producing healthy plants. What was the third place the family decided to reside or live in? And why did they wish to shift there? The third place the family decided to reside in was a cave. As winter was coming close, they wanted a place to protect themselves from the cold and a strong storage place for their belongings. What made the family change over to their fourth home or residence? What precautions did they take before building it? One day, the family's huts were completely destroyed by a herd of elephants. So the family changed their residence. They avoided using stilts so the elephants would not be able to knock them down. Do the changes in the family's residence remind you of the history of man's evolution? Man's evolution means man, they say that man was a monkey before and then he's evolved and today he's become the intelligent, clever person that he is. So do you think that this story is telling us something about man's evolution? Yes. The Robinson family's residences or their homes remind one of the evolution of man. They use tools, all the available resources and their intelligence, and each time they made better changes. We will end the story here, to be continued in the next video.